Drive Time on RTE Radio 1 with Ulster Bank Business Achievers Awards. Get your business the recognition it deserves. Why not tell us your success story at businessachieversaward.com.
Keane, thank you very much. Retail sale volumes jumped by 2.2% in November and by 9.3% on an annual basis. That's according to the latest figures we have from the CSO today. While retailers are welcoming this news, ISME, the Small and Medium Enterprises Association, has welcomed that there are still a number of, I should say that they have warned, they've welcomed the figures, but they're warning there are still a number of underlying issues affecting the sector. Della Kilroy has this report.
Well, the latest CSO findings indicate that there has been a continuation and indeed an acceleration in the rate of growth in retail sales. It's something we've been tracking now for some time.
Dr. John McCartney, Director of Research at Savills, on the latest CSO figures showing that retail sales rose at their fastest rate for more than 8 years in November.
Retail sales increased in real terms by just under 9% if we exclude the volatile element of motor sales in the last year. So very strong recovery. What
impact are you predicting this strengthening of the consumer economy might have on rents in 2016?
Well, we're forecasting that Grafton Street rents will increase by about 15% this year. The reason for this really is jobs growth. When we have strong jobs growth, people have the confidence to go out and spend money, and that in turn gives retailers the confidence to commit to long-term leases at a higher rent level. It's really about the sustainability of it that matters to retailers.
With the volume of retail sales increasing by 2.2% in the month of November and by 9.3% in the year to the end of that month, Goodbody Chief Economist Dermot O'Leary said Black Friday and heavy marketing around that day was somewhat of a boom for Irish retailers.
So we've certainly seen the effects of Black Friday come into the numbers in the month of November. If you look at, for instance, electrical goods sales, they rose by 22% year on year in the month of November. There was some level of price cuts, but only modest and really in line with what we've seen throughout the rest of the year. If you look at some of the other sectors, sales of furniture and lighting grew by 18% year on year, and department store sales grew by 14% year on year. So they're the kind of sectors that are benefited certainly from Black Friday, but more broadly there's a strength in consumer spending that has really been building throughout the year. And in the month of November, we've seen the fastest rate of growth since really the tail end of the boom period back in 2007.
What are you expecting in terms of retail sales in 2016?
Next year, or this year, 2016, is going to be another year of progress, certainly in terms of consumer spending. If you look at all of the different indicators, such as consumer confidence, such as disposable income, such as the tax cuts that are going to come into people's pay packets in the next couple of weeks, employment growth is strong and will remain strong, and we were also getting pay rises in both the private sector and the public sector. So they're all key drivers to consumer spending, and it looks to us really that the consumer will be the most important driver of growth in the Irish economy in 2016.
The Irish Small and Medium Enterprises Association also welcomed the figures, but warned that there were a number of underlying issues still affecting the sector. They're calling for government action on commercial rates, rents and labour costs. Mark Fielding is their chief executive.
Well, the figures today are very welcome from a retail point of view, with an over 9% in volume and 5% in value increase in November. We still have to see, of course, what the Christmas brings, but again, we're hoping for slight increases. But we also have, I suppose, underlying issues. Rents, rates, and the increase in wages, especially with the minimum wage increase from the 1st of January. That in itself is causing problems for the retail sector, who would have a good number of people on that level or a bit above it. We also have the retail sector who are buying, while the euro is so weak, they're buying in sterling or in dollars, and that's having an effect on their margins, obviously. On value terms, we're still at about a little beyond 2005 figures, so we've a long way to go.
You're also calling on the government to prioritise growth of the retail sector, particularly for smaller retailers outside of Dublin, yet to fully benefit from the recovery.
Yeah, because the recovery is like the curate's egg. It's good in parts. Retailers down the country are still not seeing the effect of the trickle down of the growth that is coming. So with the increase in the wages, with the increases in rents and rates, I think maybe the government should look at a decrease in the rate of employers' PRSI, and that would incentivise businesses to increase their jobs.
Meanwhile, and for Anne McNicholas, small business owner of Beverly Hills Boutique in Castlebar, County Mayo, she says she has still yet to see the same kind of recovery that has been reported in bigger cities across the country.
We've been in business for about 15 years, and obviously we've made it through the recession, or what they tell us is the end of recession anyway, but it hasn't reached the West yet.
What was business like for you in the run-up to Christmas in Mayo? Are you seeing an increase in consumer confidence?
We didn't really have a great Christmas down here. There was kind of a number of local factors, like there was a lot of roadworks going on in the town, and people were still not, the hype wasn't there, the atmosphere wasn't there. It just, maybe it was online, maybe it was in Galway and Dublin that they were shopping for Christmas. Locally, a lot of my colleagues here locally definitely didn't feel it either. But in saying that, I think there is a lot of optimism for 2016. People do feel that it will start to trickle down this way, but the gap is massive. Like, Dublin seems to be booming for the last year, if not the last 18 months, and there's a massive contrast between that and between rural Ireland, like definitely here in the West anyway.
And that was Della Kilroy reporting.